Generative AI, friend or foe of the policing profession? That's the big question. And to help me answer it, I'm joined by Wijsman and Don Zoufal. They're the experts and here to discuss. Well, first of all, gentlemen, thank you ever so much indeed for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Good to be here. Thank you for having us.
It's great to have you. Now, we're talking about what everybody else is talking about, AI. So could we start off by, could you give me a sort of idea of where AI is currently used in policing?
Well, yeah, let me kind of take a first crack at that. I think AI has been around for a substantial period of time. So many agencies use AI, facial recognition, license plate recognition. All these functions are algorithmic functions where calculations are being made. So I think most of the hype currently is around the concept of generative AI. Issues like ChatGPT, Copilot, these new technologies that are coming online, and I think that's where, there's some controversy on the other issues of AI, and most agencies should realize they're probably utilizing AI in some form or function in the technologies they're using, but the generative AI, I think, raises new and special concerns.
If you're a small agency, you're a small department, how can you use AI?
Well, I think there's several ways that you can utilize it, and I think in some ways it's a very democratizing technology because if you're using, for example, body cameras in connection with arrests, that creates massive amounts of data. So you can utilize AI tools to help analyze that and summarize that for officers as they prepare to write reports. There are some places where they're trying to use the AI in an initial instance to generate reports. You can also use it for analysis of data and other kinds of functions. So it's a very useful tool for a broad range of activities that law enforcement is engaged in.
Policing in many ways is about trust, isn't it? About building trust with communities. So how is that affected by the implementation and rollout of AI?
Trust is everything. So what you see with everything that's published on AI and the bad things that AI can do, is not very good for trust. So as police, we always must be as transparent as possible in everything that we do. We will be using more and more AI. We have been using AI already for some time, as Don mentioned earlier, but now we get into new forms of AI, especially the generative AI, and that is very demanding. It can be very demanding on, okay, how do we still explain what we are doing? Because if we are using models and we actually don't know how it works, we have kind of black boxes. And how do you explain to the public that you're using a black box? Because if they say, okay, why did you just did that? They say, I don't know, because the machine told me. That's not the best answer. So this is something you must be aware of. So it's like, it adds to what you already do, but keep in mind, trust is like paramount.
Well, let's pick up on that point let's pick up on 2 points, the AI literacy and awareness and the point you made about the role of the IACP. So the IACP has an AI working group. So can you tell us a little bit about why that was set up and what?
Yeah, that's nice you're asking, because actually last year, end of last year, we do have an AI subcommittee in our CNT committee, where Don and I both are on, and our AI subcommittee, which I'm chairing, we said, like, we see a lot of folks within IACP working with everybody's AI, so we need to combine this actually and get the knowledge together. So the idea was we have a gathering at the Policy Council, and we add that to the normal program, and something like 60 or 70 people showed up, and it was a full house. And then it was decided, okay, let's create an AI working group, which is cross-committee. So actually it touches on all committees. And one of the first things we do now is a collection of use cases, just to see who's doing what, with the goal of being able to share as much knowledge as possible, but also making it possible for people to know who's doing what. And if you have a question, where to go. So, and if we can add this into all the knowledge that IACP has, it's a great platform. So this is just actually the start. So now we're working on the use cases, and we want to have as much as possible. And then next steps could be also some research or some other things that are required. But the most important thing is that we actually combine everything. So not everybody is doing it by itself, like, hey, you're doing it too. I didn't know that.
My final question is, another thing that we will be bombarded with when we watch the television or listen to podcasts or whatever is, will AI take my job? So to what extent is AI going to replace police officers, and to what extent is it a tool to help police officers?
It's not going to replace police officers. That flat out, that's not going to happen. What it is I think better to look at it as an augmenting technology, an assistant, an aid. So for example, in connection with preparing a report on an arrest, it can help you summarize all that body-worn camera data, the transcripts of the audio, and those sorts of things. So there are some ways, for just as generative AI tools can be used for that. So I think that's the way to think about this, is that this is something that will facilitate analysis of crime data. It will help it'll help officers do the things that our officers are doing, but it won't replace the human in performing those functions. It won't make arrests, nor should it.
Well, thank you both so much indeed for joining us. I feel we could spend 3 days talking about this, but we can't. So thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.